It was just a numbers game. For the last few years, I've been so focused on progressing that I started getting used to gambling with my body. And it's true. I've walked away from so many crashes that the working assumption was that I'd always bail just in time.
Holy crap!
After all, I'm Seth's motherfreaking bike hacks.
You good? I hit my chin on the bars, but I'm okay.
Yes, I did suffer a separated shoulder, which will look like this forever. But that was soft tissue damage. This is my first skeletal injury ever, and actually could have been a lot worse. Let's talk about how and why it happened and what its implications are.
A little crusty looking.
On Saturday, I visited Grapefruit Trails as the first stop on my Florida trip. The plan was to meet with patrons for a really casual day of hitting jumps, grilling up hot dogs, and having some laughs.
How did you... You gotta show me where this happened. So what happened? You went over the berm or something and kept going into the swamp?
I went around the berm and then where it goes up, got to the top and got back down.
As you can see, things were going perfectly. Grapefruit Trails is a community freeride park in Palm Bay. With really sandy soil and basically no elevation, the place has taken a massive amount of ingenuity to build and maintain. It's an inspiration to any community that doesn't have a place to ride. In fact, the locals sometimes rely on better dirt trucked in from the outside. While many of the jump surfaces at Grapefruit are bolstered with carpet, the BMX jumps at the back are as firm and grippy as any I've ever seen. This is important because I was riding my single-speed hardtail. I had it set up for single track with 30 psi in the tires, and I should have been running double that. While carving left on the lip, my front tire folded under. This happens when lateral force is applied to your wheel. If the ground doesn't give, your tire will. So halfway up the lip, I lost all my speed and smashed straight into the backside of the lander. This is the hand that took most of the impact. I knew I had hit the ground really hard, but I couldn't tell if I was hurt yet.
I think so. Whew. Did you hear my front tire fold under?
We went back to the trailhead to grill hot dogs and take a breather.
Alright, ice in my wrist, probably not going to be riding for a bit, but all is right with the world.
For some dogs, man?
Some of these look ready to send.
Oh, yeah.
Other than not riding, I was all but ignoring my injury. After all, I'd be back on my bike within a week. I was sure of it.
That's it. Nice. That's got to be the greatest idea ever.
So after lunch, I went back in to film the locals. As the day wore on, I started to suspect that something might be wrong. Although I could hold the camera with my right hand, my left hurt so badly that I couldn't even get my cell phone out of my pocket. I decided it was time to wrap things up and maybe get it checked out.
So that's swelling for sure, but it just, I can, ow! There are certain things I can do very easily, and there are other things I can't. I can't even get my cell phone in and out of my pocket. So I'm really hoping that this is something that just heals up.
I want to show you your fracture. I don't have a laptop.
Fracture?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah, you've done it. Yeah.
Or would you guys be able to tell me how long it
Yeah,
would be before I would can ride again?
No, you've got to see your but don't do it. You don't want to do anything now because you don't want to make a non-surgical case a surgical case.
Oh.
You got to wear the splint until you see the doctor.
The fractures were in my radius. That's the larger of the two bones in your forearm. One was hairline, while the other had a pretty significant gap. Not quite big enough to require surgery. The doctor said I could return to jumping couches by 3 months, with light trail riding a little sooner than that.
Well, at least I can keep my arm strong because I got this big weight on it all the time.
For now, I'm in a cast, and it's itchy. It's also really difficult to type with. When I shower, I need to use this thing to keep it from getting wet. I'm also going to need to rely on other activities to keep my strength up. If I want to hit the ground running this spring, I'll need to maintain my cardio and bone density. We might even see a little bit of Seth's hike hacks. As for the videos, they will continue on. I can't promise anything interesting next week, but once I get back to my shop, it'll be business as usual. I'm kind of excited for the challenge. Since my Instagram post, I've been getting tons of support from you guys, sometimes in the form of commiseration. We all deal with injuries, some worse than others, and thankfully, I'll be making a full recovery from this. Anyway, thanks for all the well wishes, and keep an eye on my Instagram for little updates about this. Thanks for riding with me today, and I'll see you next time.
What happened? One crash and just, I mean, you gotta basically throw this shirt in the garbage now. You'll never get all those off. You might as well cut all your hair off too.
Oh yeah.
Because they're in there.
I want to know.
Yeah, yeah, that's just what happens at Grapefruit Trails.
I just stopped hearing the bell.